Having a lot of ideas is probably one of the reasons that entrepreneurship calls to you. But if you don't choose one and take action, even if it's just a small step forward, you don't actually have a business. You have a notebook. And that notebook, well, it is not helping anybody just yet. Not your clients, and definitely not your bank account. So let's talk about how to choose one idea to move forward with. One that's worth testing, one that helps people, and one that's going to put your business in motion. I'm Laura Zovelson, and this is the Gen Expert Show, where we talk about how to launch and grow your coaching, consulting, or expertise based business so you can take back control of your time, get paid, and stop doubting your own damn brilliance. So here's the real reason you can't make up your mind. You're not flaky, you're creative. You see possibilities, and you know that there are people out there that you can help. And I know you've got 10 different ideas about how to do it. And your brain is kind of saying, oh no, we need the perfect one. So let's talk about what's really going on here. Perfect isn't really a thing when it comes to starting a business. Perfect actually is not going to happen. So the desire for perfect is just your brain getting involved and trying to protect you from failure. So the thing about entrepreneurship is it's not a test you can study for. It's actually an iterative experience that keeps on evolving. So if you keep waiting for the perfect idea, you're going to stay in idea mode and you're never even going to give your business a chance. I actually have a brilliant friend who just uncovered this for herself. She'd been working at a job for about 2 years and it was really making her miserable. She is a gifted marketer and she kind of been mulling going out on her own, but she always found a reason to stay in her corporate job. She's a high achiever and she was always concerned about, well, what if this doesn't work? Well, she went away to a retreat and while she was there, she realized she was letting fear drive her life. So long story short, she resigned the next week and she's currently designing her consulting business. So let's get back to the notebook full of ideas that you have. So eventually, what you want to do is pick one to test. So let's be organized about how we pick. So when I have a lot of ideas, my favorite way to get stuff out of my head is to get all the ideas out in front of me. So either all down on one piece of paper. I've used giant post-it notes for this. I've used a whiteboard for this, or on a screen somewhere, but just get them out of your head because it's really hard to evaluate them if you're kind of trying to compartmentalize them in all the different parts of your brain. Okay. So I want to share with you three of my favorite ways to organize ideas. If you're a visual learner like I am, one of my favorite ways to organize ideas is by using a mind map. And if you're not familiar with the concept, actually, I think it's easier if I just show you. So, one thing I really like about mind mapping is it shows you how your ideas can connect with each other, but it's also really easy to brainstorm. So, you would start here and you would put maybe you could just write my business right in the middle. And then off of this, you would put idea one and, any other ideas that you have that are associated with idea one and idea two, right? And idea three, and the ideas that are associated with that. And what you might find is that once you've got all this laid out, well, you're going to find that idea two and idea three are really similar. So maybe you would move idea two over here with idea three. Or you might find that this part of idea three really belongs over here with idea one. And so you would just move it over there. Now, this is a way to do it just on a piece of paper, but there's actually software that lets you do this. I'm not sure if it's paid or not, but the one I like is called MindNode, MindNode, and it works right on your iPad. And again, I think this is a great visual way to get clear on your ideas. So, if you're a social learner and you really like bouncing ideas off of other people, but you don't really have anybody around that's kind of in the same mind space with you, or maybe you're just not quite ready to share yet, I would go ahead and use a GPT as a brainstorming buddy. Chat GPT, Gemini, any of them would be fine. And so, what I would do is I would create a document that has four areas on it: skills, strengths, experiences, and interests. And go ahead and bullet point each of those. And then I would go ahead and upload that to the GPT and use a prompt like this. I think you could follow up by asking, what are the top three that have the potential to be a profitable business and why? And then a third way that I think that you can organize your ideas, if you're verbal especially, is to record them. You just use the voice recorder that comes pre-installed on your phone. Um, I think a lot of times if we're writing things down, again, depending on what kind of a learner you are, you can be kind of judgy. Whereas when you're just speaking them, like go out on a walk and just speak your ideas, or go out in the backyard and just speak your ideas right into your phone. And don't censor yourself at all. And then go back and actually, what you could do is you could generate a transcript of everything you just said and load that into ChatGPT and ask it the same kind of questions as the prompt I put on earlier. Okay. Because again, what we want to do is try rearranging our ideas in different ways. That's what all of these methods allow you to do. And we're looking for patterns. And we're also looking for an emotional response, right? What do you get excited about? Because our next step is to take the top two or three ideas, maybe one that you feel comfortable with, one that gets you excited, and maybe the one that's just way out there and you're like, oh, I would never do that, but maybe, like, maybe just include that one for fun. So for each one of those, I want you to ask three questions, okay? If I started this business, who would I be helping? What problem would I be helping them solve? And how would they feel after I help them solve the problem? Okay. Now, for right now, you're just guessing at the answers to these questions. But as you think through those, these are going to help give your ideas some structure and help you visualize what kind of a business you would be creating. So I've said this before, plans give you confidence, but that's all you have right now. So if you want clarity about which way you should go, which idea you should use, you're actually going to have to take some action. So I want you to take one of your ideas, and it doesn't mean we're ditching the other ones, but you have to start somewhere, right? So take one of your ideas, and I want to give you three different actions you can take. You can do any one of them. I want you to pick one of them, though, and I want you to commit to yourself that you're going to do it in the next 3 days. Okay. So, one idea that you have, one of these actions that I'm going to tell you about, and do it in the next 3 days. Okay. So, here are the choices. Choice number one, send an email to someone that you know that fits the profile of the person that you're thinking about helping. Just tell them about your idea and get some feedback. Okay. That's all we're doing right now. Choice number two is that you could post a short video or a text post on LinkedIn or Instagram and describe the idea and who it's for and just see if anybody reacts. Okay. You don't need a brand or anything. You just need a pulse check. Okay. That's all we're doing here. And then the third thing, choice number three, offer to help somebody for free, right? Just one person say, hey, I'm working on a new business idea. And would you be open to letting me walk you through it and see if it helps? You'll learn so much from any one of these three simple actions, okay? And that learning is going to be gold as you move through your decision making process. Okay, if you don't take anything else away from this episode, here's what I want you to remember. The best way to figure out which idea is going to work for you is to stop thinking and start doing. So I want you to pick the area where you have the biggest question mark and think about what you could do to get that question answered, even if it's just one little insight about it, okay? And then you're going to adjust your idea based on what you learn and keep going. And that is the whole game. That is starting your own business right there in a nutshell. Now, if you want some help doing this faster and with a little bit more structure and support and accountability, I have a program for that. And the very first step that we do in the program is take all these ideas that you have and we narrow them down to the one that has the best chance for success. And inside the container of that program, I have ways to help you evaluate your different ideas and make sure that you're actually going after a business that can ultimately be profitable. So you don't actually have to figure this out alone. So, if you would like a plan and some judgment free support from someone who's done that a few times before, hi, it's me. You just email me at questions@laurazavelson.com and I'll send you all the details about the program. So, if this episode helped you get a plan for getting some of your ideas wrangled, I would love it if you would like and subscribe or share it with a friend who's in idea mode, okay? Now, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. I really do look and I really do answer. So that's it for me today, and I will see you next week on the Gen Expert Show. Same bat time, same bat channel.